Hey folks, so I'm sitting here working, and so that's why I'm going to be looking this way most of the time. I can kind of do this and talk too, I think. If you've watched any of my other videos, you know that I've moved in with my grandmother in old family home. She's 87 years old. I'm trying to help take care of her in her winter years, and so um, she has been getting these calls from almost all of them are foreign people. Um, Usually, they have an Indian accent. So I don't know where they come from, but somewhere overseas. And my grandmother, this is her phone, by the way, just a regular phone. It doesn't have caller ID. It does nothing. So she answers every call. It's just a normal phone that they've had, same phone number all my life. I'm 50. So she gets these calls, and normally she might get 5 or 6 a day. And she fields them pretty well, you know. She doesn't give them any information, but the last couple of days, it's gotten so bad. I've had to start fielding the calls for her. And she's getting like 30 calls a day or so. So I thought this would be a good video to make, actually, because I know there's a lot of people out there, especially elderly people, who are being harassed like this. And that's what it is. It's harassment. And, you know, the people that are calling, they're spoofing the numbers. I think that's what it's called, spoofing, where it looks like they're calling from in the States somewhere. But they're calling from overseas in some little back room somewhere with probably 50 other people crammed in to cubicles, and they're preying on the elderly in our country. And I really wish there's something we could do about it. But I've been on the phone with my granny. Her phone is through Frontier Communications, and there's really not much they can do. One thing that I did do, and this will be a tip for you if you have a situation, or if you are you know someone who has a similar situation. We're just about to try this. I don't know if it's going to work or not, but Frontier at least has a calling feature called selective call acceptance. So she can put in a certain number of numbers that she wants to be able to call her, and only those numbers can reach her. The rest of the people will be sent to a voice message that says something like, "This number is not accepting calls at this time." So we haven't tried it yet. I got it turned on. It should be on within the next 24 hours. We are going to try that, and I'll report back to as how well that works. But I've got her trying to think of a list of people that she would want to be able to call her. And the one thing that I've found that kind of works sometimes, I don't know if it's slowing, I don't think it's slowing down the number of calls that she's getting, but it ends them fairly quickly, is saying the sentence, "Please put me on your do not call list." And I've been trying that. Most of the time they will hang up when you say that. There are some, though, that will continue to persist. And I've gotten into it with a few of them. I've been cussed out by a few of them. So, yeah. It might make for an interesting video. Next time the phone rings, I'll try to hit record, and we'll see what we get. Okay? So, hello. Please put me on your do not call list. Hung up. Hello. Please put me on your do not call list. Please put me on your do not call list. Please put me on your do not call list. because we don't want to talk to you. We're getting 30 calls a day, man. It's not the last call. Put me on a do not call list, don't call back. Thank you. All right, well, that guy was a little more persistent than most. Most of the time when you say put me on the do not call list, they shut up. But he kept saying, why? Why, sir? Why? And he was very polite. So, finally I said, because we don't want to talk to you. He said, this will be the last call. I was like, well, it won't. So, I'm sorry I don't have a speakerphone hooked up for this. But if I make more videos like this, I will. But hopefully this thing that we're going to try with the, what is it called? Selective call acceptance, maybe that'll cut down on it enough I won't have to make any more of them. But anyway, that was one call. We'll see if we get any more. Hello. Please put me on your do not call list. Hung up. That seems to work pretty good. Hello. This is a robocall. I don't know what to do with that. Yeah, that was just an automated robocall. I think they're all kind of robocalls. With automated dialers at least. And then you get the foreign speaking person on the other end. Anyway, I'm going to come back for some commentary here after a few more maybe. We'll see how many we get. Hello. Another robocall. No, do not call. There's nobody there really. I don't even know why I said that. Yeah, that was the same one. The same one called me back. Hello. Please put me on your do not call list. Thank you. Healthcare specialist. He was very polite though. Thank you so much. Hello. Thought I heard something there for a minute, but now nothing. All right. Oh, hi. Please put me on your do not call list. Okay. He wouldn't hang up, but he didn't say anything after I said that, so I eventually hung up. This is Lucifer. Look here. Say hello. This is your YouTube debut. Cute, huh? He is a mess, let me tell you. He earns his name. He really does. All right. Well, I think that'll do it for the calls I'm going to put on this video. I finally got a call from my uncle, Granny's son, and she wants that call, so I took it in there to her. Which is another thing I think that I should mention here is, these people are preying on elderly folks, and I'll be honest with you. Before I moved in here with my grandma, I only called her about once a month. But now that I'm here, I see how important those calls are to her. And I really wish I had have called her more often than that. Because she sits around and she watches Family Feud a lot. And she has these certain people she talks to every day. and she waits for those phone calls, and that's why she would always answer all the phone calls, because she was thinking, if she don't have caller ID on her phone or anything, which will probably, I don't know if we'll do that or not, because we're going to try this selective call acceptance feature. And like I said, I will report back on how well that works to you guys. I'm thinking that might help, might cut down on just about everything, because she'll only be receiving calls from these 12 people that she lists, and I think she's probably got maybe just about that many. I guess what I'm saying here is, if you have an elderly person in your family and they're just sitting at home, call them as much as you can, and just check in with them, say hello, tell them you love them. Don't do like I did and do it once a month. Call, at least a couple times a week at least. If you can call every day, I think that's good. Remember that phrase that I used, though. You've heard it enough now if you've watched this whole video. Please put me on your do not call list. And you need to say it word for word. And I got that actually from I read an article that was posted and written by a telemarketer. Hopefully this is helpful to somebody. If you're having this problem and it's a landline, there's things you can do with lines that are connected to the internet, or if it's a mobile phone, you can get an app to block calls. That helps. But if it's a landline, it's tougher to deal with. So remember that feature, selective call acceptance. Let you make a list of people that can call you, and all the other calls are rejected. So remember that. Remember the phrase, please put me on your do not call list. But there's actually most of these people are calling, and it's like they're saying they're from Medicare, or they're from some kind of health thing, and they're trying to give her a free back brace or something like that. And but then there's she's gotten a couple of calls which are even more notorious than that, of people claiming to be her son, her grandson. So then they're saying that they're stuck in Philadelphia or somewhere like that, and these are Indian people or some persuasion over there. I apologize. I don't mean to be racist at all. I don't know how to handle that other than the selective call acceptance. I'm thinking that may work. We're going to try that. I'll report back, and listen, if you know any other good tips or tricks or whatever, please post them in the comments below. I will try to find a link. I remember what I was talking about earlier now. Was the article that was written by the telemarketer that gave me that sentence. Please put me on your do not call list. And that was written by a telemarketer, and the title of it was from Lifehacker. I'll try to put a link down there. The title of it is I'm a telemarketer, here's how to get rid of me, or something along those lines. And so some good information was in that. There's other things you can do too, like you can mail the company. If you can get the company name, you can ask to speak to a supervisor. But I've found this, please put me on your do not call list, will at least shut them up, and most of them just hang up after that. Whether they're putting the number on a do not call list or not, I really can't tell at this point, because we're still got just about as many calls today as we got yesterday. Maybe a few less. So I don't know how many companies are over there doing this, but there's got to be a lot of them, because they just keep calling. And sometimes they get they're really harassing. I picked up one that Granny was talking to earlier when I went ahead and took her phone and said, let me handle this for a while. And the guy was actually singing on the phone, and he's just messing with her. He's like, you're going to keep getting these calls until and so, I mean, these are notorious people. And I really wish there was something we could do about it. But I mean, our laws mean nothing to people not in our country. They're not under our laws. So, yeah, I'd love to hear your comments, your feedback, and that sort of thing about what I've put in this video. And we'll see where it goes from here. Keep watching. Hey, I've got a lot of other videos about a lot of other things. This is kind of a variety channel. Please like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you later.